Hey, I'm a mechanical engineer, and this is my homemade chessboard. I bought this foldable chess set online a few weeks ago. It wasn't very expensive, and of course you get what you pay for, so as a result, the board is very thin and just not very good quality. However, the chess pieces themselves are actually not bad. They're not perfect, but they could be a lot worse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep all the pieces, but build a better, higher quality board for them. To do this, we'll first want to decide how large we want our board to be. Since my pieces aren't very large, I'm going to make each space an inch wide, making the whole board 8 inches squared. Once you have the basic dimensions for your board, you can go ahead and cut it out. And of course, you can basically use any type of building material that you would like, but for me, I'm going to be using 3/4 inch oak for the whole project. So now that we have the board top cut out, we'll need to build a base to hold it up. I want my base to have 2 drawers, one on each side to keep the chess pieces in. Now after a little bit of playing around with the chess pieces, I've determined that I want my drawers to be 1 3/4 inches tall. So I'm going to cut out 2 side pieces that are both 8 inches long and 4 inches wide. Because that way we'll have 1.5 inches above and below the hole that the drawer will slide in, because keep in mind the tabletop itself is 3/4 inch thick. With both sides cut, we'll now cut out 4 more pieces. 2 of them will be 8 inches long by 1.5 inches wide, like these. And the other 2 will be 8 inches long by 3/4 inch wide, like these. Now we're going to want to cut 4 notches out of both of our 4 inch tall sides. We're going to want to cut a 3/4 inch square notch at each top corner, and a 3/4 inch by 1.5 inch notch at each bottom corner, like this. Now we can put all the pieces together. We'll take the top of our chessboard, set it upside down, glue and nail down our 3/4 inch pieces, glue on our 4 inch side pieces, glue and nail on our 1.5 inch pieces, and then once the glue dries, give everything a solid sanding. But if you're like me and you have some space in some of your joints, just fill them in with some JB Weld wood filler before sanding. After that, I'm going to install a small block in between the 2 1.5 inch pieces of frame. This piece will act as a guide rail of such and stop the drawers from drooping down when we slide them in, but we will have to make sure that we mount it flush with the top of the 1.5 inch pieces. Next, I'm going to cut out some trim to go around the top and bottom of our frame. To do this, I'm just going to cut out some inch wide pieces, run it through the router, then cut them at a 45-degree angle and glue and nail them in place. Like this. And again, if you have a few cracks, just go ahead and fill them in and then sand it. Now we can move on to making the drawers. The drawers are going to be very simple. I'm going to cut a piece of plywood that is the same length as the hole, but not even half of the width of the table, so it's just under 4 inches. The reason why I'm cutting this short is to guarantee there's plenty of room for both drawers. Then I'll glue on a 1/2 inch oak piece to the back of the base plate, then glue on 2/4 inch thick pieces to the side of that. And once everything dries, I'm going to center and glue on the face of the drawer. For a face, I'm just using a 1/2 inch piece of oak that I ran through the router, and I made sure to cut every side at least 1/4 inch wider than the hole itself. If you want to add a pole to your drawer so it's easier to take out, now's your chance to do it, but it's not entirely necessary, and I think I'm just going to leave mine how it is. Now that it's complete, we'll repeat the process and build the second drawer for the other side. Now that both drawers are finished, we can prepare the board for painting. To do this, we'll first take a pencil and draw on all the squares. We'll then take some electrical tape, or painter's tape, and we'll tape every other square to get the checkboard design. This is a little tedious, but the more care you put into doing it, the better it'll come out. After doing this for a little bit, I found the best way that works for me is to cut out 4 trapezoids and match up 1 point with each corner of the square. That seems to be the fastest and easiest way to go, but even so, this took me a little over an hour. But regardless of how you choose to do it, once you're done, we can go ahead and give everything, including the drawers, a nice coat of spray paint. I chose a very dark brown, and I love this paint because it's made specifically for wood, so we'll still be able to see the grain even after we paint it. And as soon as the paint dries, we can go ahead and remove the tape. I was a little concerned about the paint bleeding into different squares, that's why I didn't use stain, but praise the Lord, it actually came out looking really nice. Now after I give the paint a few days to really harden and dry, I'm going to cover everything with a nice shiny, scratch resistant coat of sealant to help protect our work. And after that, I'm going to apply these felt strips to the bottom of the chessboard, just to ensure that the chessboard doesn't scratch up any tables or anything we set it on. Lastly, we'll drop the chess pieces into the drawers. And with that, the board is complete. I am very happy with how this turned out. The squares on top are not perfect because our taping job wasn't perfect, but they are very close. And these tiny drawers turned out a lot better than I thought they would. They're actually a lot of fun to play with. I'll leave a link in the description below for the original chess set if you want to buy it for its pieces. And again, nothing against the original chess set, it's a great deal for its price. And there you have it, my homemade chessboard. But hey, thank you so much for you guys watching. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please feel free to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And Lord willing, I'll see you next Friday.
Thanks for watching, and please feel free to subscribe.